everyone, welcome back to the channel. This week we will be reviewing Renegades by Marissa Meyers. As always, format for the book review, summary of the story, pros, cons, and then my final thought and ranking of the book. So with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Renegades takes place in a world that is still rebuilding after a 10-year period, what everyone calls the Age of Anarchy, where a bunch of villains decided to band together and try and free the world, but it did not go well, and the entire world fell into complete chaos. There are a bunch of supervillain gangs that have taken over Galton City and the rest of the world. In the midst of the Age of Chaos, there are a group of superheroes called the Renegades that step up and are able to defeat the supervillains, and the supervillains are finally defeated in one last battle, the Battle of Galton City. So now that all of the superhero gangs are hiding and are trying to just live their lives and not stir any trouble with the Renegades. That is until one of the superpowered gangs called the Anarchists, who followed Ace Anarchy, decided to assassinate one of the members of the Renegades, and that assassination completely fails. In the aftermath of the assassination attempt, their youngest member, Nova, decides to join the Renegades and try and defeat the Renegades from the inside. While she's there, she starts to learn things about the Renegades and about the Age of Anarchy that really tests her loyalty, and she needs to decide, is she going to stay with the Anarchists or actually join the Renegades and really become one of them. Jumping into the pro section, the first thing we're going to talk about is the character Adrian Everhart. For me, Adrian actually became a pretty cool character because even in a world where superheroes are completely accepted and normalized, he is holding a huge secret as he is now taken up the identity of the Sentinel, but he can't really tell anyone. So I kind of like the dichotomy of living in a world where superheroes are accepted, but he still having to hide his identity as a superhero. I think Marissa Meyers did a very good job at showing his struggle at having to keep his identity a secret. Another thing I really enjoyed about Adrian's character is now that he is the adopted son of two members of the council who lead the Renegades, Captain Chromium and Dreadlord. And there's a lot of internal conflict with him between him having to sort of live up to the expectations of having two of his parents be the leaders of the Renegades. There's a lot of pressure on him to live up to those expectations, as well as having to keep his secret of him being the Sentinel. So I really do like Adrian as a character, and I can't wait to see what Marissa Meyers does with him in the future for the other books. Second thing for the pro section I want to talk about is sort of the range of powers that Marissa Meyers was able to add in to the book. During the book, we meet a bunch of superheroes with a lot of actually interesting powers. So there are a couple of powers in this book that aren't really seen a whole lot. One of the characters, whose name is Monarch, is able to separate herself into a flock of butterflies, which is a very cool power. I haven't never really seen that sort of as a power, and I really do like that power. Another power is from a character named Red Assassin, who is able to use her blood and it crystallizes to make weapons. And that is a really cool ability that I really find super cool and really fun in a visual aspect. I also really like Adrian's powers. He's able to bring whatever he draws and give it like physical form. That's a bit more of a common power, but still, the way the book uses Adrian's powers is really cool. Those aren't all the powers that the book highlights. There are a bunch of other really cool powers, but those are a couple of the powers that I really enjoyed. Third thing we're going to talk about for the pro section is the world the book takes place in. I think Marissa Meyers did a really good job at designing this world. It's a world that's still rebuilding after 10 years of conflict between superheroes and supervillains. She really does a very good job at showing that, because as we're following Nova through the story, we get to really see the difference between all the regular people and the Renegades and how they live. You really get to sympathize with the Anarchists, because there are several things and several other characters on the Renegades side that make you really dislike this system and how it's set up. And I think the world Marissa Meyers sets up is sort of a reflection of our own if something like the Age of Anarchy happened. Like, if suddenly there were a war between superheroes and supervillains, a system like the Renegades would definitely be set up, and there would definitely be the Renegades Council. There's just a lot of really cool things that the world brings, and I really do enjoy the world that the book has brought, and I really cannot wait to see how Marissa Meyers expands the world in the next couple of books. I'm really intrigued about this world that she created for the book. I'm not gonna actually number this, but I'm gonna go through this really quick. This book gave me a lot of Young Justice vibes. If anyone has seen that show, it is super cool. Reading this book gave me a lot of Young Justice vibes, so I would definitely recommend anyone who has watched Young Justice or enjoys DC and Marvel content, definitely check this book out. It was a really cool read as far as I was concerned. I'm a really big Marvel and DC fan, and this gave me a lot of Young Justice vibes. So if you guys are fans of any of that content, definitely check this out. Coming to the con section, the one thing I really am going to talk about in the con section is the fact that this book leaves us with a couple of unanswered questions, and one really big unanswered question in particular. To really talk about this in full, I'm going to split this con section into two different sections. This first section is going to be the non-spoiler section, and after I'm done talking about this in a non-spoiler context, I'll give a spoiler warning for anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled, and they can jump to the ending and my final thoughts. As far as the non-spoiler part, at the end of the book, Nova meets up with someone that we had actually thought had been dead the entire book, and she meets them up in this cathedral. The person she meets, we had all written off as dead. The thing is with me, we don't actually get to see Nova's reaction to meeting this person, and I really think that was a missed opportunity. I know we'll probably get a reaction in the next book. Please do not spoil anything if we do, but I kind of wished that Marissa Meyers had taken just literally a paragraph to explain what Nova was thinking at that moment. That way it wouldn't be such a big unanswered question to me. My thing is the fact that Nova knows to go to the cathedral and talks about one of the big reveals that happened in the book. I have a feeling that she knew maybe that this person wasn't really dead, but maybe was in hiding and she knew all about it. I just wish Marissa Meyers had cleared that up in this first book, but she'll probably deal with it in one of the other books. Again, please don't spoil anything if she does. This next section is going to be the spoiler section for what I just talked about. So if you guys want to read this book and don't want to be spoiled with anything, I'll put a time code down the side where you can skip to the very end and my final thoughts of the book in general. Otherwise, if you guys don't mind spoilers or have read the book, just keep on watching. Nova goes to the cathedral, and the man she ends up meeting is her uncle Ace Anarchy, who we had all assumed it was dead because that was the information we'd been getting the entire book, that he died in the final Battle of Galton, but turns out he's not dead. He's just been in hiding in the cathedral the entire time. And at the end of the book, Nova goes to the cathedral, says that they have your helmet and I can steal it back. That's when her uncle reveals that he's still alive. Again, I really wish that Marissa Meyers had taken literally just another paragraph to clear up if Nova had known that her uncle was alive or not. I have a feeling that she might have, but that was just my read on the scene in the book. I could totally be wrong, but my intuition says that she knew, and that Ace has just been in hiding for the last 10 years, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and now that Nova knows where the helmet is, she has a plan to get it. Ace was finally ready to reveal himself. This one point isn't huge, but it's something that I wish Marissa Meyers had cleared up. I'm sure she'll deal with this in the next book, but I just wish we had gotten a clear answer right from the jump at the end of the first book. Final thoughts on the book here. Honestly, I really did enjoy this. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. I think Marissa Meyers did a great job at creating a bunch of really cool characters with Nova and Adrian. I really enjoyed the two of them. I really enjoyed the world. I think Marissa Meyers did a great job at showing a world trying to rebuild after 10 years of conflict. I really did enjoy the world in general. A lot of the superpowers that characters have in the book are really cool and kind of different and I really hope we see some more unique superpowers as the series goes on. I really did enjoy this book. I will highly recommend this to anyone who is a Marvel or DC fan. This book really gave me a lot of Young Justice vibes, and I really love that show. If you guys are comic book fans or anything like that, give this book a shot. I really did enjoy it. I'm going to give Marissa Meyers Renegades an 8.5 out of 10. If you guys have read Marissa Meyers Renegades book before, please feel free to discuss it down in the comments. I want to read what you guys thought of the book if you've read it before. Try and keep it spoiler free for anyone who hasn't read the entire series like I haven't. I still have to get through the other books. If you guys want to discuss Renegades, feel more than free to do so. Down in the comments. If you guys have books you want me to do reviews on in the future, you can leave them down there. If you guys want to connect with me on social media, my Instagram is Riley Murray Book Reviews, my Twitter is Riley T. Murray, my Facebook is also Riley Murray Book Reviews, and my Discord server is Riley Murray Book Reviews as well. As you guys might have seen, I have started posting reels from my TikTok. If you guys want to follow my TikTok, it is RM Book Reviews. I will leave links to everything down in the comments if you guys want to go and follow them. If you guys enjoyed this content, please do not forget, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss anything. That is going to be it for me for this week. Have a great weekend, and don't forget, keep on reading.